This video will show you how to replace the rear blower motor on a Chrysler Town & Country. This will be located along the passenger side rear of your passenger compartment. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. Now we will have to remove the passenger side plastic panel. To do this, we're going to have to remove a couple other plastic panels first. Let's start on the lower panel here. Now for this, I like to start breaking it free across the center. We're going to start flexing it up like a rainbow, and we'll start pulling it away from the sides. The sides will have to be pulled away from each side and up and out. There we are. So typically when you do lift this, it would want to flex like that, and then you would be able to pull this out. There's going to be several locking tabs making their way under here. Once you have one side broken free, generally you can just go ahead and remove the other side fairly easily. We'll turn this over so you can have a quick look. This is where we can see all of our locking tabs making their way across. Go ahead and set that aside. After removing the lower panel, we're moving to the upper panel. Along each side of the upper panel, you're going to find that you have a circular cover. Remove the cover, and inside of the port, you'll find a Phillips head screw, which needs to be removed. To remove this plastic cover, I'm using a small angled pick. You can use a screwdriver if necessary. Just a quick inspection of that. Phillips head screw deep inside this area. There's my screw. Now I'm going to repeat the process on the other side. After removing both of those screws, we're going to start removing the panel. We do have a seat belt that makes its way down and through this area. The port that it goes through is large enough to slide that out and through. Now to remove this, if you find that you have an area you can grab, go ahead and pull it down that way. You may need to use that plastic trim tool. There's a spot. As we pull this down, there's just going to be several locking tabs that need to pull out of place. Quick look at that, we can see all of the locking tabs. We'll set it aside. Now we can start removing the passenger side panel. Near where the rear lift gate is, you're going to find that we have a piece that needs to be removed. There's a Phillips head screw. Let's remove that. Okay. Just hold that with my magnet. Just a quick inspection of that. We'll set it aside. Now after removing that, let's move forward towards our rear seat belt. We're going to have to dislodge it from its lower mounting point. Now there's typically a rubber protective cover here. Just go ahead and flex that and slide it up and out of position. For this, I'm just using a flat blade screwdriver. I'm coming down through this area. I'll start pulling the bottom away. Now I'll tuck my finger under, grab onto it. I'm pulling the lip away, we can lift that up. That exposes our 21mm mounting nut. Go ahead and remove that. Now along the forward side of the passenger rear panel, we have our center seat belt that has to be removed. You know what to do here. We're just going to pull this down. We should be able to slide that out, lift it up. That exposes our T50 Torx bolt. So now after dislodging that panel, we're moving towards where the speaker panel is. We're going to start dislodging this. It has several plastic clips behind here. I'm going to be using my trim tool just as I did before. We'll start popping it free from along the front, along the inboard side, along the rearward side. Typically there's going to be a hooked area that goes behind the other panel. There we go. You can see where the seat belt has to slide out of this groove. Let's be careful not to cause any damage to our seatbelt, in which case you'd have to replace that. You can see all of our locking tabs. We'll set that aside. That exposes two Phillips head screws. Let's remove the pair. Now we're moving to the upper rearward panel. Now this is going to be held in place with two push clips that we can see out in the open. We're going to remove those first. So I'm going to be using a trim tool. I want to get underneath these and carefully pry them up. This one seems like it's loose. Now we should be able to take hold of this. We're going to start pulling it away, starting down along the bottom. You can use a trim tool if necessary. There we go. Slide that right out of there. You can see all of our locking tabs. Now we can take hold of the entire plastic panel. I'm starting up along the top area. I like to take hold of it. I'm going to pull it straight inward. As it starts breaking free up here, I'll make my way towards the rear and then make my way towards the front. Fully remove this panel. Now as I'm pulling away my panel on my application, I do have an electrical connector here. This is for my rearward flashlight. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull out that electrical connector by squeezing in on the locking tab. Now at this point, we're going to remove the forward venting duct. There's 2 studs that this slides onto, so I'm just going to take hold of it. I'll pull it away from the studs and then pull it away from this box. Just go ahead and set that aside. Now we have the upper vent tube. For this one, there's just a couple locking tabs here. We're just going to take hold of the tube, carefully lift it up. It's going to break free. We'll pull it down and out of position. Now we can start removing the entire box assembly here. Now keep in mind there are wiring harnesses leading to the back side of this. We don't want to cause any damage. You are going to find that you have 2 10mm headed mounting bolts. There's going to be one on the rearward side, and then there's one on the upper forward side. Go ahead and remove the pair. Now with that pulled away, we can start removing our blower motor. We're going to start with the electrical connector. Now this electrical connector does have a squeezable tab, so I'm squeezing it in with my thumb. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull that out of place. There's that squeezable tab. Now continuing on, you're going to find that you have 3 T20 Torx screws that need to be removed. You'll find that you have one up top. We'll save that for last. There's one down along the front here, and then one along the rearward side. After we've removed all 3 of these, we can carefully remove the blower motor assembly. I'll go for this one down in here. T20. All 3 of these mounting bolts will look the same. Let's take hold of the blower motor assembly and remove it from the housing. There it is, friend. Now, prior to installing our brand new blower motor, of course, we're going to make sure we clean and inspect our mounting area. I'm using a clean rag, no detergents. This looks good. Now that I have that cleaned, let's just have a quick look along the back side of this area here. Now, what I'm looking for is this one rectangular slot. If you were looking at the blower motor, you're going to find that it's circular, in exception of that one area that's rectangular just like this. We're going to line it up. Once all the mounting hardware is aligned, we can go ahead and start it in and snug it up. Let's get ready to install our brand new blower motor assembly. There's that rectangular area. We'll get this in position. Okay, that sits flush. Onto our 3 T20 Torx bolts. Just like I mentioned, we'll start them all in and then we can snug them up. As you tighten these, just keep in mind you are only screwing into plastic. You don't want to cause any damage by over-tightening. Once you feel as though you have all those in place, give the blower motor a wiggle. It should not move around in any way. We'll continue on to the electrical connector next. Line it up, press it in. Audible click, light tug, it's secured. One last quick inspection in this area before reinstalling this. Now as we start bringing this back into position, we have our two mounting bolts. There's one here and one on the upper corner. We're going to start them both in before tightening either of them, in case we need to move this around a little. We'll take hold of the housing, confirm it's secured in place. It should not move around in any way. Let's get ready to install our upper vent channel. That's going to go from this area of the housing to the upper area. We'll start with the top. We're bringing this in. We'll press it up as far as we need to. Now we can lower this down into the proper position. You can see that there is locking tabs. You're going to have the same exact thing on either side. Just press it down. A couple light taps, make sure it's secured in place. Now it's time for the forward vent tube. That's going to go from this area of the box across this. Now as we make our way across, there's two studs. These are our points of interest. There's one here, and then there's one down on the forward side. If you were looking at the vent tube, you can see exactly how everything needs to align. This is going to slide in. We have some locking tabs. Now I'm aligning with my studs. Press that on there. This one I can see slid right in as well. This is exactly what we want to see. Let's prepare to install our side panel. If you were looking at the side panel on the inboard side, you're going to find that there's several locking tabs and some locating tabs making their way across. Those need to align with their corresponding ports on the body of the vehicle. As we bring this over, keep in mind we do still have an electrical connector that needs to be reconnected as well. Let's bring this a little closer. As far as that electrical connector, we have our locking tab. That'll be facing towards the body of the vehicle. Line it up, press it in. Audible click, a light tug, it is secured. Now we can continue on aligning this with the corresponding areas. We'll tap it into position. So we're starting to bring this over. We're aligning our locking tab areas. Before I fully tap it into position, I typically like to make any adjustments as necessary. Now that I feel as though I have everything aligned, I'm going to start tapping it in all the way across towards the front of this panel. That's just a little flashlight, that's okay. Just a couple light taps. Go ahead and give it a wiggle. It should not fall out of place. Now with that tapped into place, we're going to continue on. Near our speaker, we had two Phillips head screws. Go ahead and reinstall those. I'll leave that loose for now. Now we have our plastic panel. Looking in this area here, we do have a slot for our seat belt. Just like during the removal process, we want to be extremely careful not to cause any damage to that seat belt. Even one tiny tear, the seat belt needs to be replaced. Now that I have that through the slot, I'm going to continue on getting this in position. We're starting with the rearward side. We're going to start rolling it into position here. I'm pressing it inward now, and we'll continue on aligning it, and then we can tap it into position up against the body of the vehicle. Just double check all the way around, make sure it's properly secured in place. Now, if you were looking at the panel itself on the inboard side, you can see that there's several locking tabs and alignment tabs. The first one that we're going to pay attention to is up along the top area here. As we start bringing this into position, we're going to have to slide it up, and then we'll roll the rest of it into the proper positioning, and we have two push clips for mounting hardware inboard there. So now that I have this into the proper positioning here, I want to make sure my locking tabs are aligned. We're just going to continue on pressing this up, and we'll drive it in towards the outer aspect of the vehicle. Just a couple light taps there. Now it's time for our two plastic push clips. So now let's start reattaching our seat belts down along the bottom area. I'm going with the forward one first here. Just go ahead and start that bolt in. Snug it up, make sure it's nice and tight. Go ahead and protect that bolt. We'll just slide this down and over the area. Onto the rearward seat belt. We'll make sure it's not twisted. Start it on, snug it up. We'll protect the area. Let's get ready to install the upper panel. Now, as far as this is concerned, we do have one rectangular port. That's going to be for our seatbelt to slide down and through. Before we do that, let's have a quick look at the other side. Now, looking at this side, you can see that we have several locking tabs making their way across. We also have this area here. Now, if you were looking at this, you can see that there's a small groove. That's for the upper roof panel to sit in between. With all that said, let's go ahead and get this in position. We're starting with the seatbelt. Now, while I'm bringing this up, I'm attempting to align each one of my mounting points, and I'll tap this into the fully locked position. Before we go any further and install our 2 screws, one for each side, we just want to pay attention to our rubber seal. Now, as I look across here, I can tell that my panel went on the other side of the rubber seal, and of course I do want to fix that. So I'm just going to be using my plastic trim tool. You can also use a flat blade screwdriver. Just make your way along that area. Double check all the way across towards that passenger side. We'll continue on with our 2 mounting screws. As far as these screws, I have it on my Phillips head. Once you have the screw in place, continue on with your circular protective cover. Same process for the other side of the vehicle. Now we'll make our way down along the passenger side. We have this one small hook. Phillips head screw, start it in, snug it up. We're moving along to the lower panel. Let's have a quick look at the underside. As you remember, during the removal process, there's going to be several locking tabs across the center, and along each side you will have a hooked edge. That hooked edge needs to go underneath each side panel. So I'm going to start with those, and then we're going to roll the center down, align the locking tabs with their corresponding ports, and then press it down into the fully seated position. Couple light taps will make sure it's secured all the way across. Okay, friend, we finished our installation. Now the next thing you have to do is put the key in the on position and make sure you test the blower motor on all speeds. That's going to confirm everything's functioning properly. Aside from that, go ahead and close the lift gate and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.